In this video, we will be looking at parallel and perpendicular lines. Lines that are parallel have slopes that are the same, and lines that are perpendicular have slopes that are opposite reciprocals. For 1 through 4, they want us to find the slope of each line. Here is A. To find the slope, we can just pick any 2 points on line A, count our rise and our run. This is a slope of up 1 and to the right 2, so we have a slope of 1/2. For line B, pick these 2 points here. Here's line B. We count up 1 and over to the right 2. So again, we have a slope of 1/2. For line C, that's this line right here. We can pick these 2 points, and we have a slope of up 2 and to the right 1. So we have a slope of +2. And for line D, that's the slope here, we pick these 2 points, we have a slope of up 2 and left 1, which is a slope of -2. They want us to compare the lines. Which ones have the same slope? And that would be lines A and B are parallel. Which lines are perpendicular? They are opposite reciprocals. A and D are opposite reciprocals, as well as B and D. They too are opposite reciprocals. So if we look at the slope of line A, 1/2, if we take the reciprocal of 1/2, that would be 2/1, and the opposite of positive is indeed a negative. That's why these two lines are opposite reciprocals and are perpendicular. And since A and B are parallel, if I'm perpendicular to A, I must be perpendicular to B as well. Okay, so finding a slope here that is parallel to the given slope. If it's 2/3, a parallel slope will also be 2/3. If the slope is -4, a parallel slope is -4. A slope that is parallel to -1/4 is also -1/4. And a slope that is parallel to 2 is also 2. Perpendicular slope would be the opposite reciprocal. So since this is a +2/3, I'm going to have a negative. And if I take the reciprocal of 2/3, I get 3/2. The opposite reciprocal of -4 is going to be +1/4. The opposite reciprocal of -1/4 is going to be a +4, and the opposite reciprocal of 2 is going to be -1/2. In 5, 6, and 7, they want us to compare the slopes and determine if they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So looking at the slopes here in number 5, we have a -1/2 and a +2. These are indeed opposite reciprocals, so these are perpendicular. In problem number 6, we have a slope of +3, a slope of -3, and while they are opposites, they are not reciprocals, so they are neither parallel nor perpendicular. Looking here, we have a slope here of 1/2, because the coefficient of x here is 1, so that's 1/7. Here again, we have 1/7, so these slopes are the same, so they are parallel lines. So that is how we look at the slopes and and determine whether they are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Now we'll look at some applications of this process. They want us to write the equation in slope-intercept form. So remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And they want it in slope-intercept form for a line that passes through the given point and is parallel to the graph of the given equation. So we have a point, and we have this equation. In order to figure out the slope, I need to put this in slope-intercept form. So I will solve this for y. We will subtract 5x from both sides. We end up with negative 2y equals negative 5x plus 8. Next, we divide by what's in front of the y, which is a negative 2. So we divide every term on both sides of the equation by negative 2. And we have the equation y equals 5 over 2x minus 4. We now know that our slope is going to be 5 over 2. So we have a slope and we have the point 2, 9. So this is x sub 1, y sub 1, and we're going to use point slope form and solve for y. So we have y minus 9 equals 5 over 2 times x minus 2. We will distribute the 5 halves. Add 9 to both sides. And we have a line here, an equation here for the line. Y equals 5 over 2, or 5 halves x plus 4. This is a line that is parallel to 5 halves x minus 4. They have the same slope. In the next example, we have the point 6, negative 13. We already have an equation in slope-intercept form, so I simply identify the slope as 2 over 9. I use the point 6, negative 13. There's my x sub 1, y sub 1. Again, we will use the point slope formula and solve for y. Y minus, and this is y sub 1 is a negative 13. Slope is 2 over 9. And this is x minus 6. Going to simplify this side. Y plus 13 equals 2 over 9 times x minus 6. Now look here at the 9 in the denominator, and I look at this 6. And this 6 is not going to cancel out this 9, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 9 so that I can get rid of this fraction here. So we're going to multiply everything by 9. So 9y plus, and then we have 9 times 13, so that is 117, 72, yes, equals, and this becomes 2 times x minus 6. So I have 9y plus 117 is going to equal 2x minus 12. We are looking to solve for y, so I'm going to subtract 117 from both sides. So 117 and 12 is 129. And then divide everything by 9, so I have y equals 2 over 9x minus 129 over 9. This will reduce. So what you'll do here is use your calculator, go to alpha y equals, and we'll put 129 in the numerator, 9 in the denominator, and we end up with the fraction 43 over 3. Sometimes the equations are not all that pretty. Okay, in number 9, we are looking for equations that are perpendicular to what we've been given. Now we already have the same equations as we had in number 8, so I'm not going to worry about solving this because we already did that. We know that when we solve this for y, we end up with y equals 5 over 2x minus 4. For a slope that is perpendicular to this, we want it to be the opposite, and we want it to be a reciprocal. We will still use the point 2, 9. So we go y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Here's our x sub 1, y sub 1. So y minus 9 equals negative 2/5 times x minus 2. Y minus 9 equals negative 2/5 x plus 4 over 5. And here is where we have a bit of a mess. So we're going to go ahead and add 9 to both sides. Y equals negative 2/5 x plus, and 9 times 5 is 45, and 45 plus 4 is 49 over 5. And if you'll put that in your calculator as 9 plus, and then just use alpha y equals for the 4 over 5, and it will give you 49 over 5. Didn't box that one up back there. So again, we have x sub 1, y sub 1 here. Our slope is 2/9, so we want a negative 9. Let me go ahead and correct that. So we want a negative 9 over 2. So y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So y sub 1 is negative 13. Our slope is going to be negative 9 over 2. We have x minus 6. Now this one's going to be a little easier because this 6 will cancel out this 2. So we end up with y plus 13, negative 9/2 times x. Negative times negative is positive. And if you go to alpha y equals, and you put negative 9 over 2, and then we arrow over and multiply that by what amounts to negative 6, we're going to get a positive 27. Now we subtract 13 from both sides, and 27 minus 13, in your calculator you would end up with positive 14. So to recap, when you are given an equation either in standard form or slope-intercept form, make sure that you go ahead and solve what you have to get down to slope-intercept form. Find the slope that they've given to, find the slope from that equation, use that, and the point that they give you, put that information into point slope form, and then reduce that or solve that for y so that you end up with an equation that is parallel to the information that they gave you. For perpendicular, you're going to take the equation, make sure you put it into slope-intercept form, look at the slope, use its opposite reciprocal and the point that you were given, put that information into point slope form, and again solve for y, and that is how you would find the equation of a line perpendicular to a line that is given to you and a given point. That was kind of fast. You might have to watch this twice.